talk about partnership tax. Partnership tax is one of the most difficult areas of all the tax law. Now, the idea here is that an entity under state law, that's where we file to be an entity for purposes of liability, whether you're going to file to be a corporation, a general partnership, a limited liability partnership, a limited liability limited partnership, a limited partnership, whatever it is, a limited liability company, LLC, you're going to file that at the state level. You actually file at the state level. For example, corporations, a lot of corporations are filed and formed in the state of Delaware. So you file at the state level. Of course, we have federal taxes. Now, the idea here I want to focus on with respect to partnerships, partnership tax, I've got my Mario outfit on to help remind you of these concepts. Partnership tax is a very, very difficult area of tax. Got Mario and Luigi. So keep that in mind. Mario and Luigi, right? Got a partnership. Partnership tax is a very difficult area of tax. If you are a partnership for state purposes, general partnership, limited liability partnership, limited liability, limited partnership, then you almost surely are going to be treated as a partnership for federal tax purposes. You can elect to be treated as an S corporation, and we'll talk about S corporations in a later topic, the benefits there, okay? When it comes to entities outside of those filed as a partnership or those examples I gave for state level, you can still be taxed as a partnership under federal tax law. Perfect example, a limited liability company. The default rule, if you have more than one owner, under the tax law, federal tax law, is that you will be treated as a partnership. LLC will be treated as a partnership if you have more than one owner. You can again elect to be an S corporation if you want. Okay, you can be treated as a corporation and elect S status if you make that election under the check the box rules. Okay. Now, one thing I want to stress is that you don't actually have to have any kind of entity under state law purposes to be treated as a partnership for federal tax purposes. That's interesting, right? So you could have a contract, right? Mario and Luigi, they could have a contract where Mario is a plumber working by himself. Luigi's a plumber working by himself. They're not in a contract together to conduct business, but they are in a contract to deal with office space. Now, the tax law has said that the mere sharing of expenses is simply not enough to rise a contract to the level of a partnership for federal tax purposes, but you might have some type of special arrangement where maybe they do change and they decide under contract law to share some type of the profits or whatnot. Then that can potentially end up being a partnership for federal tax purposes, even if they don't file to be a partnership under state law purposes or even an LLC or any type of entity. They're just doing this through contract law. You can still have a federal tax partnership under federal tax law. So it's that broad. Now keep in mind the Mario costume, because again, partnership tax, there's special rules that apply to partnerships. We have single level taxation like sole proprietorships and S corporations. We have one level of tax, unlike C corporations. But each of these entities, sole proprietorship, partnership, and S corporation, they've got some special differences, special key rules. Make sure that you follow along with these differences, because once we go through all the different entities, the main entities, sole proprietorship, partnership, S corporation, then we're going to look at the distinctions of specifically C corporation, S corporation, and LLC taxed partnership to see which of the entities is the best choice for a specific client. That's very, very important in practice, very important if you're an entrepreneur considering the business entities. So with that, keep in mind again, partnerships, separate, keep those separate from sole proprietorships and S corporations, even though there is a lot of overlap, like one level of tax, right? One level of tax. There's a lot of different rules with respect to sole proprietorships and S corporations, so keep in mind that partnerships are their own unique area when it comes to tax law.